Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher, and this video is about how I do a monoprint on a gel plate and then how I repurpose that print. I also show a couple of workarounds when when it doesn't pull everything off and what I do then. So I'm going to turn you around and we'll get started. These are just some of the tools I use on the gel print. This is a sander that I just wrap string around, and then you can press. The stencil I made, I put a little thing here so I can stamp it. Sponge, this is a makeup applicator to a roll from something, palette knife, a small roller. I also have a larger roller, but I don't use it quite as much because I like to apply the paint in sort of dabs and a scraper. These are kind of the go-to tools, and then you can use anything, stencils, bubble wrap. Yeah, that's the other thing, bubble wrap. But these are just a few of the things I like to use. And these are some of the things that I play with once I've done my gel print. And if I haven't pulled all the paint off, then I come in with these. So I like the Molotow. These are kind of like Poscas. These are the Poscas. These are the Winsor Newton permanent markers that are more like a watercolor. So I really love that. Then I've got, fine-tipped pens here, as well as my Caran d'Ache, which is also what I use for dyeing t-shirting and fabrics and stuff. I've shown that, and I'll put that video on the upper right corner. And things like this. But you can use anything. Anything that you would use in your art, you could then use on your gel prints. I'm just going over this piece because I didn't like it. It looked like a big carrot in the middle. So I'm going over with Posca pens, my Winsor Newton pigment markers, and some Caran d'Ache. So I did the white, and now I'm kind of going over some of that white with the Caran d'Ache, just to mute it a little bit. It's the same thing that I use to paint my old t-shirts with. So I think that's better. What's nice about the white is that it kind of pops and then you can go over it and leave a little bit of the white still showing. So you get this very fine bit of white. Yeah, I think that's better. Still have this sort of blob in the center, which I'm not loving, but this whole thing will get cut up. So it's really, I don't want to get caught up in a composition of something that I'm actually not going to use as a piece. Okay, so now that I have my gel print the way I want it and I've decided that I'm going to use it, I'm going to get my iron out and I'm going to get out this, which I buy as just a whole bolt of it because I use quite a bit of it. And this is the Pellon SPF 101. It's a lightweight, very lightweight fusible. So I can take my piece, let's say I want to do this one. And I'm going to just cut a piece of this to fit onto here. I lay this face down. I put the rough part, the part that's going to stick to the piece. And then I'm going to iron this. And what I get is now a tissue paper that is like fabric. It's like a very thin fabric that I can cut and do whatever I want and apply to my various, whether it's a sculptural piece or a flat, it doesn't matter. I can cut up whatever sections of this that I want, and I can use it as though it were fabric. I just had one of those unfortunate experiences where someone reached out to me saying they wanted to buy one of my pieces. I was immediately suspicious when they didn't ask any questions about it, like how big is it, or they just said that they wanted to buy it for their son. And when I said that it was awfully difficult to ship because it was so delicate, it was one of my vessels with little branches coming out that would be very hard to ship. They said, oh, that shouldn't be a problem. And what ended up happening was I said that I was at the bank and that I needed all their information to verify who they were. And they kind of argued with me about that. And so then I said, I'm not interested in this, in continuing this. And they immediately shut down the message via Facebook. And it just made me, well, first of all, I spent about an hour dealing with this. And I had a lot of anxiety around it because I had a feeling, I had a sense that there was something off. But the other thing that really made me just sad was that there are so many scammers out there. My husband gets them, I get them, emails and people calling and texting, and there's just so many scams. And if all those people took all that energy and creativity, because some of them are quite creative in how they're scamming people, if they just took all of that and applied it to art, wouldn't it be amazing? I mean, art is what really I find so uplifting, whether it's visual art, painting, sculpture, or dance, music, the theater, but it's the arts. The arts are what matter to me and what make me so appreciative of my fellow humans, and it fills me with joy and with hope. I am embracing all of you, and I hope that none of you have ever been scammed, because it's really an awful feeling. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. That always helps me. Here's to creating.